Is this reality?
Diplomatic immunity.
Welcome to the Deadzone podcast. Deadzone is the sci-fi tabletop miniature skirmish game from Mantic Games. And now, here are your hosts, Rob Harper and Jack Pike. And I am your announcer, William Randolph Wintergreen.
Welcome to the 15th episode of Deadzone the podcast. In this episode, we have a lot of news, pictures, and some mailbag. As always, you can go to deadzonegame.podbean.com to see all the pictures we're checking out. And now on to the show. Welcome to another episode of Deadzone the podcast.
Deadzone the podcast. What is this, episode 15?
Yes, 15.
15. Almost a year to when we started this bad boy.
Yeah, so this episode's going to be mostly about news and things happening.
Which is good. We'll get back to that. I know we did a couple battle reports and discussed, some rules issues that we'd encountered. We'd done some, just playing around and seeing how everything worked out, which is fine. But primarily, I think this is going to be a podcast about, news regarding Deadzone from Mantic.
And we might even have some missives from our fans.
Missives. Yes, we do have the Deadzone mailbag. I don't know what we're going to call it. When we get to it, we'll have to... We'll jazz up a name. Something like that.
Letters.
Letters? Letters.
Letters. We got letters. It's the David Letterman letter song.
Oh.
Every time I hear that.
Poems. Poems, everybody. Poems.
There you go.
No, it's going to be the Deadzone Dropbox.
The Dead Box. The Drop Zone. Yeah, the Drop Zone. That's not bad.
We'll work on it.
We're spitballing here.
You're spitballing. You're running out of the flagpole. We'll see what happens. Anyways, we're getting distracted already.
That's right. On to the news.
Knuckle down. Let's. This is real.
This is real. Is this reality? Okay, so the first bit of news. We won't be touching on Mantic Open Day. That was actually yesterday. That'll be on our next episode. So this is all stuff from before that. So if you're wondering why we don't mention Mantic Open Day, that's why.
Yeah, we have to compile. We have data. We have spreadsheets.
Yeah, everything's still coming in.
We can't just throw this stuff out there. We work hard.
Our on-the-scene reporters are still sending in their reports. So
yeah.
So first off, we'll mention that Mantic has a bunch of new community managers.
Replacements for our beloved James, who is near and dear to us still.
James is dead to us.
No!
So James could only be replaced by 4 people. The first one is Pat. He's the community manager for the USA, and he's coordinating all the US and Canadian activity. So maybe we can get a hold of Pat, and
Kat Denning.
I'd like to get a hold of her, and he's the one who organizes the Pathfinders for the area and stuff.
Well, then maybe that's what we have to do. We have to get a hold of Pat.
And if you want to get in touch with Pat, you can go to communitypat@manticgames.com. And he'll help with events, hobby activity in the U.S., and, more about Pathfinders. Next person is Kai. She will be the online presence, and she's been a big online presence. And she's pretty much taking over from James, being on all the Facebooks and the Twitters.
I don't do the Facebook book nor the Twitter.
No, that's true.
But I haven't seen her in the Mantic videos or anything like that. Is she going to be taking over with that little glue bottle with the arms stuck to it, or the
Fisty
orc?
Glue Man?
Yeah, I don't know that.
Not so far. Ronnie's been doing the videos, so I don't know. Maybe Ronnie and the guy doing the assembly videos. Dave, yep.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we see Kai taking over in that respect with the guy in the orc mask.
Or going to Beast of War doing... I don't know who's going to be doing that kind of stuff. The playthroughs and stuff. Let's see.
I'm assuming it's her.
Maybe not. I don't know. She seems to be more the online person.
Oh.
If you want to contact Kai, she's on Twitter or kai@manticgames.com. Or Facebook, Pinterest, all those kind of places. She's the one. Sarah is going to be doing what she always did, which is the thankless task of dealing with the inbox and customer service. I'm amazed she hasn't committed suicide, because if I had to do that, I would either become a postal or just kill myself, because that must be hell.
Well, if you were doing that job, you wouldn't show up on Mondays, that's for sure.
Well, I don't like Mondays. Even so, they imagine the stuff she has to deal with, just people being bitches, whiny bitches.
Well, yes, you're not a fan of the
but
four
imagine,
corners
just
filled
imagine,
with whiny bitches.
She must have the patience of Job.
like a Buddhist thing going
Yeah.
on, where she just
Yeah.
centers herself.
She just sits cross-legged and
Hey, Sarah, we got another. Okay, I see her. I see her.
I see her levitating right now.
Don't worry. Your third eye is kind of giving me the sticky
Stink
eyeball,
eye.
so I'll just back out right now.
So we salute you, Sarah. And last is Chris Nichols, who will be coordinating organized play and events. He might be the one to do that kind of stuff, the game tutorials and stuff. And he's at eventschris at Mantic Games. And you can contact all these people. Tell them we sent you.
Yeah, just
And they'll be like, who?
send them random just missives, whatever, your diary entries, whatever you want. Just send it along.
They like to be included.
To feel loved and welcomed into the community of
And don't
psychopaths.
complain. Stop complaining.
Well, okay, so maybe we'll have to get a hold of Pat and
Yeah, he
continue
seems to be the North American contact.
Yeah.
And next we have the next part of the news from Jake Thornton, the creator. He posted on his blog a new experimental rule, which is kind of interesting. I wanted to talk about, see if you think it's any good. It's the first turn of the game. You limit the number of the commander's command stat. The first number of your commander's command stat.
That's easy for you to say.
The first turn of the game has a limit to the amount of models you can activate to just the first number of your commander's command stat, not both added together. To imply that the beginning of the battle is kind of chaotic. So the first turn, let's say he gives an example that a Marauder Strike team with a commander of 3/2, he usually gets to command 5 units, but the first turn he'd only get to command 3 units. So it implies like a chaotic beginning to the battle. Do you think it'd be even worth it? Do you think
No, that sounds.
It's very subtle, right?
It's so subtle. It's one more thing to think about.
That's why they took it out. That's why he said he was just like, well, why confuse it?
Yeah, it's just muddy.
It's interesting.
Waters.
I understand it's interesting to add that extra level of detail to the game, but yeah.
I would say that already the way that you start out the game, it's very rooted in one. It's done one way, right or wrong. That's just the way it is. You set up all your models. To add that level of subtlety.
Also, for the first turn, it would mean that you'd only move 3 of your models 1 step forward or 2 step forward.
Yeah,
you're not fighting in the first turn, anyways.
It
might be different if you're different. Like you say, we have people in the middle and people coming from the outside, so you can fight the first turn. That might affect it a lot more. That'd be a big difference, right? But first turn, you're just moving the first turn.
Yeah, the difference could be two models. If it was
most likely it's going to be 2 models. Yeah.
If it was 2 units of 5 models, I'd say okay, well, yeah, but two models, that's
and it's just moving.
Yeah,
it'd be different if it was shooting. Yeah.
No,
because it could mean a couple less deaths, or
I would say the right choice was if
just
that was
cut
something that they had mulled over, something that might have made the rules, almost did, play tested this, but I would say they made the right choice by just going, this is how it works. This is how your turn is based.
Always,
and
not
that's just the
different
way it
first
is.
turn, yeah. And he also put out a new FAQ. We'll put the link to the actual FAQ sites, because it's long, in our on deadzonegame.podbean.com. If you go there, all the links will be there. He put out a new FAQ, so a lot of new rules changes. It's a living FAQ, so it changes all the time, so it's good to check back once in a while. But some stuff has come up that we discussed before, so I just thought I'd point it out.
More people must have...
people must have asked him questions. And first one is, does the sniper ability work with any weapon or just sniper rifles?
Well, obviously sniper rifle. You can't...
His answer is any weapon, because snipers train in various backup weapons in case things go wrong. But I think Jake doesn't realize how overpowered this makes a sniper, already overpowered sniper. Because if he can move and shoot with his pistol, and getting +2 dice with a pistol, it doesn't matter. He's still going to kill people. That makes it a sniper super powerful.
And
I think
I'd
too
also
powerful.
say that I know this is the future in a fantasy setting, but snipers do train with various backup weapons. Snipers don't use them for sniping.
And also, sure, the sniper trains with a sniper rifle, and sure, he trains with a backup weapon. But you'd think that an enforcer, whose primary weapon, he should get a bonus too then, because he's, he does get a bonus to the pinning, what's it called?
Currently, the system is, in today's modern army, the sniper has a backup weapon. Yes, he has a pistol.
Yeah, of course he has a pistol. I'm not... But
his real backup weapon for when things go wrong, and he doesn't want it to go wrong at all, is a second guy with an assault rifle.
Yeah.
That
Cover
is
his
his
ass,
backup
yeah.
weapon. Is his number 2. That's how it's supposed to work. It's not that he can pick up any weapon.
And be able to shoot just as good as a sniper rifle.
Now, if these pistols, I don't know, I've never seen you use the pistol in the game.
Because I don't want to be a cheap ass. That's
There are competitive
Yeah, they're not scoped pistols. Yeah.
pistols for target shooting. Now, if there was a penalty to this pistol in the game, I'd say, okay, well, if it's...
I guess the penalty is that it's only a range 3.
Okay, what are the other ranges of pistols?
No, all the pistols are range 3.
Well, then there's no penalty. It's
I
now
mean,
you're
for
sniping.
generally a pistol's worse than a rifle just because of the range.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And it doesn't have AP. I don't think. No, it doesn't. So it's not armor piercing, but still, that's imagine if like all the times that you've come up on my sniper, if I could have just pistoled you instead of trying to moved and shot you, like
No,
you'd have been throwing the board across the room.
Yeah, that's asinine. That flies in the face of reality. That I can suspend disbelief a lot of times, but if a sniper can pick up,
it just doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Say 9mm pistol and start sniping with it,
makes
with
no sense.
No scope, something like a scorpion stock or something, or even something that made it a target pistol.
It makes no sense that he should do it. So house rule right now, pistols cannot work as sniper rifles. And the next thing is what happens when a mutant with no shoot ability gets acid breath. This came up last time.
This came up in the last game we played, which is good that
and we actually did it right. Nothing happens. There is no practical effect for this model. And yeah, it's just not useful for that model. You have to put it on someone who can shoot.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if you have a whole army that has no shoot ability, like if you feel that just counts as a bad, like sometimes mutations are bad.
I do get that, the one that makes you your atrophied muscles and stuff like that.
It makes you weak.
It just happens. So the mutations, most of them are pretty useless anyways. So like, the glide effect is
that's pretty useless. Same with like jetpacks. All my guys did jetpacks. Yeah, it's claws are useful. And acid breath was useful. You killed.
Yeah, it was the only way I was able to armor pierce. But,
that was useful.
That's good. So we've basically we
figured that one out. But I just wanted to make sure it was official that we did it right.
And now we've come down. Our judgments have been made on all three of those cases. You've all heard what we've decided. If you've listening at home, you've got other options that you've played with, any kind of things like that. Let us know. You might have a point of view that we don't we haven't factored in, and just let us know. We're open to suggestions. If you've got some reason why you think we're talking out of our ass,
a sniper should be able to snipe with a pistol,
let us know, please.
So that's it for Jake. So on to some other not as good Mantic news.
Oh no,
some bad news here. Wave 2 shipping for the Kickstarter. For those of you that are back to Kickstarter. Because of the tooling and model production, the shipment will be shipping in July. It originally was first quarter of 2012 or 12. What year am I living in? And then it was June, and now it's July. And it's because they have to they don't want to rush everything with the tooling, and because the last time a lot of people complained about flashing and all this stuff, it's because they rushed it out. They wanted to hurry up and get this. Quality control wasn't number one on their mind for the first one. And also, they'd be able to pay extra attention to the rules in the books to make sure, once again, remember all the spelling mistakes and things like that. This allows them to go through them again to make sure everything's good. And also for their warehouse staff, so there won't be as many mispacks. There's a lot of mispacks for the people getting the wrong stuff.
Oh, was there? Okay.
We got lucky. We didn't have any mispacks. We had some damaged models, but we never had any mispacks.
Yeah, which were replaced toot sweet like that.
It took. We got them April, so it took 4 months to get them. That maybe not toot sweet, but still, it's good that they just sent them.
But we were on the first. We were shipped like right off the hop. We were one of the first ones to get. We did our unboxing episode, and people still hadn't received their stuff.
For sure, it was early.
So probably 4 months, people were still like the original shipments couldn't have been out. That much earlier than we were getting replacement parts.
No, their final shipment was done before the beginning of this year, but.
But not a.
But then
amount.
the actual product came to market in February, so it's 2 months after that. But still, they had to. You got to think they had to send back to China to get all this stuff remade. So I don't have a problem with it. It was fine.
And like I said,
of course, a lot of people complained, and a lot of people didn't complain, so it's good.
We had discussed that the plague hounds have very thin little ankles.
Yeah, even our replacements almost had a broken ankle.
The replacement had the plastic had whitened from fatigue a bit, but
we threw some super glue on it, I think, just to harden it.
Well, I based these ones and used the hot water trick to get all 4 legs on the ground and to make sure that
he wasn't just a little teeny thing holding them.
Yeah, it wasn't just that one ankle. ankle holding him up. He's secure now. So I've now since painted him, based him, painted him, did all that.
And so
that's not too long. Like
no, I never had a problem, but a lot of people did have problems.
No, but for this second.
Yeah, it's, it just sucks that you have to keep waiting. Everything, all of our things that we've purchased on Kickstarter have been pushed back lately, so it's just part of that wave of everything getting pushed back. I guess there's been bad flooding in China, so I think that's affecting a lot of these people too.
And first of all, it's a royal we. I haven't purchased anything Kickstarter.
Yeah, you did.
You got a credit. You got a credit card that's
Wrath of Kings. You purchased.
You've worn the numbers off that credit card of yours. First of all.
Yeah, but Wrath of Kings is pushed back too, so that sucks.
But it does suck because you've been waiting for those enforcers to make a good, get some variation to paint up and to field a different army.
Different
We've
selections.
Played the game, a number of times now, and you've been pretty
handcuffed to what I can actually
handcuffed to you're playing the same team.
Pretty much. I could do I haven't used the sentries and the engineers. It's not my kind of play style. I don't like to have to put things down and. Deploy things, it seems extra time. Why, when I can just shoot people? When I can have another sniper, why would I have an engineer? I don't really. And, so I haven't played that much. And there's the burst laser guy I haven't played much, because although lately the suppressive fire, what's it called again?
Burst fire?
I don't think it's called that. Shoot and blaze away.
Blaze away.
Blaze away, I don't really use Blaze Away that much, which lately it has been working a lot better, so probably will use it more. But that laser is just Blaze Away, so I didn't really use them. I like killing things.
Plus, we have the Marauders. If you wanted to, you could field a team of Marauders very easly.
Why would I want to play Marauder?
Because
we have Rebs too. But even the Rebs, we're kind of limited with the Rebs too because we didn't get the booster pack with the Rebs. So
and the Rebs, you can make a really interesting. If I wanted to mix it up a bit, I would play Rebs because we have a really good selection. So,
but even Rebs is the one thing we probably should have gotten the booster pack for because there's some pretty cool models in there too, especially the winged guys, the craw. Let's move on to shout-outs. Our first shout-out is to our friend Adam on Twitter. He's got a new show. You'll probably have heard the commercial for it last time. It's called The Strike Zone. We'll have the link to it in our notes, as always.
You'll probably hear the commercial for it this time, too.
Yep, and it's a Dreadball podcast. And if you're into Dreadball, or you're interested in Dreadball at the very least, check it out. It's very good. Another friend on Twitter is Ameriplastic Molding. They make great plastic scenery, and they do a Dreadball arena. And sure, we'll have the pictures for that in there somewhere. And you can go to amera.co.uk or check them out on Twitter at AmeriPlasticM, and they make some great plastic scenery.
Never heard of it, never seen it, and I think I might just take a gander because
it's really nice looking stuff. Especially there's they have some destroyed buildings that look really nice. I think it's more for World War II kind of stuff. Like it's that kind of maybe not even modern, I guess, but like not sci-fi stuff. They do have sci-fi stuff too, but the destroyed buildings are really nice looking. And lastly, we have another friend on Twitter is Deathwatch Studios. It's DWatch Studios on Twitter. And they're a Scottish painting studio, and they've been doing a lot of Deadzone lately of paints, and they do some real, especially their terrain is really amazing looking, and we'll have some pictures later of that. And cool painting studio, so check them out.
Cool. Yeah, please do. Check out our pals, especially Adam Voxman. He's been with us from he's been with us since day
pretty
one.
Early on.
Like we're very happy to have him as now almost we're gonna try and get some synergy working with Adam.
Keep all the Mantic guys together. Mantic Radio guys too. It's a bonus shout out there. Check out the Mantic Radio guys too.
Oh, you're off the script now. You got crazy.
On to letters or whatever we'd like to call this. Hey, if you have a suggestion, send us a letter. Suggestion for the letters column.
That's getting kind of meta.
And then we'll have a letter suggestion in the letters column that suggests the letter column name. I can't wait. Anyways,
it's like reverse Inception.
It's a conception.
Easy.
Our first letter is from Nikki Lind. Is at Thirl_83 on Twitter. And he sent me a message on Twitter, and he'd like to point out that we made a mistake, that the range of the mortar is actually 16 because it can shoot at long range. There's no rule against it shooting at long range. For some reason, we thought it couldn't shoot at long range. You get a minus to the shot, but he could shoot 16 inches, or 16 squares. So we screwed that up. You were complaining last
That the range
was too short. So it's actually 16. That's a pretty good range.
Yeah, okay.
So we messed that one up.
Okay.
Thank you, Nicky.
Well, yeah, that's good. Now, are all these letters going to be corrections of our dumbassery?
Yeah, pretty much.
If that's it, then I'm
You're going to read the next one because it's from David Sjöblom. If we mispronounce your last name, he's from Sweden.
Diplomatic immunity.
And you want to read this one?
Do I want to?
It's a long one. Do you want to read it or want me to read it?
I can read it. Okay, fan from Sweden, here we go. Hello, I'm a Deadzone fan from Sweden and a listener of your podcast. I've played about 10 games of Deadzone, and most of those as Marauders, which are the coolest of the bunch, in my opinion.
Well, so far so bad there, David.
Hey, no, this is a big world. Let people enjoy what they want.
Having played the Marauders, I can say they're fun to play.
Yeah.
It's just sad that they look like orcs. Although, just a side note, in the middle of this letter, I saw they were selling heads, and they're all like gas masks, like World War I gas masks, look like Nazi, like German gas mask guys. I was popping off all the heads of all the orcs and putting those, because they had like one that had like the flat hat, like the leaders, and some had like the what do they call those bucket helmets, the sides on them. World War
like
I.
a Prussian one with the spike.
Not with spike. No, it wasn't those ones. It was like the flat ones. Like it was more of the Allies in World War I had those ones.
Oh,
forget they have a name for them, anyways. And then there was some with no helmets. I was like, those looked awesome. They would be so cool to have those as your heads for the orcs instead. All these gas mask guys. Anyways, that's a side note.
Okay, so David goes on to say. Just listened to your latest podcast and thought of a few things I'd like to point out. Okay, David, let's see what you've got to point out.
First of all, and we'll just skip this part because he was pretty much saying the same thing as Mickey, that the weapon range is actually 16 for the mortar because of the long range. You get a penalty, but that's good.
Okay, so yes, I was...
We'll skip that paragraph. We'll go to the next one.
Yes, I was mistaken on that front.
This is something I made. This is my mistake, the next one he's talking about here.
Okay, card play. The game ends when a player runs out of cards in both the deck and on hand, so it's pretty easy to dictate when a long game ends for the player with the fewest cards left.
Well, remember, because I was like, I only had like 3 cards left, but I had tons of cards in my hand.
Yes.
And you only have to drop 1 card around, so I actually had tons of time.
So you could have extended the game.
So
by
really, I don't see how the game
rounds.
would ever end by a card running out. That would take forever.
Okay. Keep in mind that if no cards were played by a player during a round, then he must discard one randomly from his hand, so the game does slowly tick by itself. Also, the game doesn't end immediately if you run out of cards, but at the end of the round. So again, not only would you discard that one card, but you'd have
get the
that
whole round,
entire
yeah.
round.
So pretty much that's like something that never happens.
Well, David, has that something that's come up? Like,
I think he's just correcting us because I can't read.
Yeah, but he seems well versed. Like, it seems like one of his games.
He's Swedish. He's like more educated than everybody else on the planet. Isn't that the best place to live on the planet? I think so. Isn't that always voted #1? Sweden? I think so. They're like the most educated people. He's reading in like not even his own language, and he reads better than I do.
That would be writing better than you do.
No, reading. Well, writing too, but reading the rule book. He's reading the rule book in English. I don't think the rule book's in any other language yet.
Oh, well, David, my hat's off to you.
You're a better man than both of us.
Yes. Our second language skills are limited at best.
Yeah, we know how to swear in a few other languages.
David goes on to write something, frag. This is something we did wrong very long ago, so I figured I'd share. A frag shot gets a bonus.
We knew this. This is something that we never screwed up. It gets the bonus when you hit. It doesn't matter if you hit or miss. It gets the bonus when you hit.
Okay. Now what a hit did the book never really touch upon, but when you beat your opponent with at least one success on a roll, throws are different. He's gotten parentheses.
He's not throwing grenades. He's talking about shooting.
So in case of a mortar shoot, you can decide whether to shoot directly or indirectly. Then it is treated exactly as a regular shoot action, and with the exception that the first roll only determines whether the frag shot gets extra bonus dice if it was a hit.
And massive frag always gets +2.
So I'm pretty sure that's how it works, at least, he says. So
yes, it always hits. It's just if you succeed in your roll, it gets a plus to die.
Now, did we misspeak at any point?
No, we
about
just
that?
we just hate that rule. That's why I don't think we played it like that. I think we played it like a throw grenade.
Yeah.
See, I think Jake actually might have corrected that. I think that might be in the FAQ that it actually they treat it as a throw grenade now, not as a auto hit. I think that's something that's not very clear still. Like what he said is exactly what it says in the book, and that's how we played it the first time.
Yes.
And we said that was ridiculous.
Well, we didn't care for it on our first go around. I think that was one of the first games we.
But then the second time we played it like a grenade.
Yes.
And so it could miss.
Yes, which
is much better.
I think a little more chaotic. Now, in time, would I like to see it miss, and then you could get a bonus for every shot you take after until you dial in your mortar? That would be nice, but for now,
that's a little complex. It's hard to.
Oh, come on!
Because the person would be moving. Like, I guess if someone stood in the same place. But
anyways,
point is, that's how the book says it, but we don't think that's good because it is way too powerful. It automatically hits every time.
So we could agree to disagree, David, on that regard.
And also in the indirect rules that are in the, I think it's in the compendium now, it says it differently. Indirect, I guess, that's if you shoot directly, I guess it counts like that, but indirect is different. Because you can't shoot it direct or indirect. If you have line of sight on them, you can just shoot your mortar straight at them, and that would be right. Maybe that's different. That's the direct rule, where indirect you treat it more like a grenade. That makes sense. I wonder if that's what Jake meant this whole time and didn't explain it correctly. That makes a lot more sense.
Okay, then David follows that up with initiative. It is indeed very annoying to go against enforcers who always get to start the round with their entire force. Personally, I feel that it doesn't really upset the game balance. It's just how they play.
I have to agree with that. We don't like it because it's just boring.
Yeah, and there's an element of chaos, and there's an element of, like...
yeah, we're much more chaotic. We like the randomness of it.
And I think that there's that moment where the tide could, when you both got dice, when you got dice in your hand, and it's a moment where triumph could be snatched from your hands if he just rolls exceptionally, is something that I think we both revel in. But okay, I've played both the Rebels and the Plague with Marauders and found myself wanting to go last anyways.
So there you go. So sometimes you don't want to win an issue.
Something we've house ruled, though, is that whoever deploys first gets to start, mainly because it makes more sense that whoever's the aggressor goes first. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah, so the aggressor goes first. Isn't that how we play it anyways? Isn't the person who sets up goes first anyways?
Oh, we've done...
I think that's the way it goes.
Well, there's friend and foe on the card.
Yeah, but that's who sets up and they go first anyways.
Yeah, and I
think maybe we're doing it wrong, but we play that your house rule.
Yeah, we if that's
not the real rule, that's how we play it.
That's how we've done it.
Yeah.
So okay, mercs. I haven't played with any mercs yet. I have held off until we know the game better and until Jake does his first revision.
Yeah, we agree, because those mercs are crazy.
And we agree, and we played without them. We've, like yourself, probably, we went with basics, moved up, started doing leadership, and we just did mercs this last game, and that's something that we played with, and I think the one merc is busted, but...
Yeah, I don't think they're all that bad.
But having since looked up the mercs on Quirkworthy, just to see the prices of them.
Yeah, they're all pretty cheap.
They're all kind of cheap, and yes, some of them are wildly overpowered for the price, and some of them are wildly underpowered, like basic troop strength almost, for like 4 times the cost.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Some are like expensive, and then they're just regular guys.
So it is waiting for the official...
I guess it's more for fluff. You take them for fun,
No, okay. And if your army has a deficit to add one, like I would add a sniper if I was going to get a merc for my...
But the sniper is crazy powerful.
But that aside, okay, and David oh, look at this. He's you're a prolific writer, David. Thank you for taking the time to send this in. This is
more
nice.
time than I take to write the Deadzone
do a whole podcast. So. We've had, it's nice that we're now getting correspondence that's informed discussions.
It's more than just you suck.
Yeah.
Wait, what's this?
David goes on to say, "You suck. You both are stupid." No, he does not. Okay. Plague 3 A's. They suck. Oh.
This is the anti-Jack sentence.
David, I've been your biggest fan up until this point, and now I'm
Well, this is the truth, and you know the 3 A's suck. You always take them. Stop
The
taking
3A
threes.
suck. You know that, Jack, so stop bitching when you keep bringing all 3A forces. I just got called a bitch by a guy from Sweden.
No, he said you were bitching. You weren't just called a bitch. You were bitching. See, me and David are on the same wavelength there.
Yes, you are. I think they have a place, but mostly a support role for bigger critters and the objective contesting. Yes, so yes, being able to pick things up because they do have the shoot ability is necessary. Useful, but don't expect them to kill anything. And then he does give a winky face.
It is. They are. I would take out the useful. Just don't expect them to kill anything ever. Except for if they have acid breath.
I agree 100%, David. The only reason I played an all Type 3 force was because I had finally painted them all up. I wanted to test...
What you don't understand about Jack is he doesn't care about winning. He cares about just playing with the miniatures he painted, and he likes the look of...
Yeah, and I expected to lose that game, not as handily as
not the sniper, yeah. The second game we were close. It was a very close game.
I still would like to test out the boomsticks again, because they did not get their due.
They seemed like they're pretty useful, yeah. Although even the mortars. But if you had a stage 1 running around and a mortar, I'd have to try to avoid the stage 1 and try to get to your mortars. That might be tough.
Yeah, so...
Here's against me, the next sentence here.
So David, I think everyone's on the same page there.
That 3s suck. Plague 3s suck.
Yeah, the Plague 3As are pretty sketchy. Okay, so he goes on to say, snipers. We had some serious balance issues at first when my friends, enforcers, literally soloed my entire strike team while never leaving the deployment zone. That happens all the time.
No, I've never soloed your whole group.
Pretty close. Got another basic box of terrain put together, and this seems to have helped a lot.
That's true. When we had all that terrain, my snipers were almost useless. Not stanza, but my regular sniper, you couldn't get any clear lines of sight.
He didn't need to, but...
No, but I'm saying in general.
But before that, yes.
Or when I was playing Goblin Snipers, I don't think they killed anyone.
When after the first game, when you were capping, Type 2s,
that was when you're like, I'm just going to jump up here, I should be fine. Boom!
I tested the water with one.
But you didn't realize that snipers are that powerful.
After that, terrain became vitally important.
Sniper, you almost got to play Plague like aliens from the movie Aliens. They're hiding, all of a sudden they pop out and get you.
Going through ventilation shafts.
For sure.
Okay, so snipers are still very powerful, but as of now, big AP lasers is the OP for us.
It's the Grogan Desolator, the one we always kill before we can see what he can do.
Yeah,
Both times, I played him once, and Jack killed him before he could shoot, and Jack played him once, and I killed him before he could shoot. So we don't really know how good those guys are, but obviously they are OP.
Okay.
You can tell by their AP on them. They're like a sniper with huge AP.
So we'll have to discover that. We'll get back to you on that, David. We'll eventually we'll get to that, and we'll make a note. We'll let David know what we think of the AP lasers. And also, David, you got a beep for using profanity in your letter.
Yeah, that's right, he did. We have to beep David.
Oh my gosh.
So that's it for David. You can read the last sentence there.
Okay, that's all for now. Keep up the good work, and don't lose faith in the Plague, Jack. In our group, the Plague are actually so far the most successful against the very powerful enforcers. Well, I have faith. I have a lot of faith. And,
if you played... Well, I remember the one time you put out your Plague Terraton, he just ripped holes in my guys. So.
Yes. So, thank you, David. He ends with a smiley emoticon. Very nice. So
thanks a lot for that message, David. It was very great to hear from somebody, and who took a lot of time to write us, and a lot of information. It helped us clear things up. And
yeah, that's good. Discussion is always good. So, again...
And it's good to hear from other groups to see if they're hitting the same roadblocks as we are. Or...
Yeah, so David and Milke, if we had prizes, I would say we would hand them out liberally. A T-shirt, perhaps some sort of... Unfortunately, we have nothing to give at the moment, so only our gratitude.
Mantic gives us nothing to give out, and that's just the way it is.
I would keep it all.
Yeah, that's the problem. If we did get anything from Mantic, Jack would just take it.
I would. So again, if our other listeners would like to get involved, like David did, and wanted to send us a letter, how would they do that, Rob?
They can either DM us on Twitter at Deadzone Podcast on Twitter, or they can email us at deadzonepodcast@gmail.com.
Perfect. We look forward to getting some more mail, and tell us what we should name the segment, our mail segment.
And now we can go to that thing you most wanted to go to.
Commercial!
Yes, commercials.
You have been listening to the Deadzone podcast with your hosts Jack Fike and Rob Harper. Deadzone is the tabletop game from Mantic Games. Please visit them at manticgames.com.
And we're back from our wonderful commercial. Thank you, Mantic. So next section here, we're going to go over some pictures. Once again, you can go to deadzonegame.podbean.com, check out all these pictures. And last episode, we did an experiment on YouTube where we had a enhanced video version of the show. And you can just search for Deadzone the podcast on YouTube. You should be able to find us. And we might do it again for this episode. We'll see.
Yeah, you just listen along, and instead of going to the website and scrolling down, when we discuss something, the picture pops up.
Yeah.
And it's, as a test, it looked good. Rob said it was all his work. I didn't even know he was going to do it until he did it. He said he could tweak this, move that, do that.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
For the first time, it was all right, but we'll see.
If it's something that you're interested in, we can keep it up.
Yeah. Well, let us know, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
First thing we're going to talk about is the Asterians. We finally got some real pictures of Asterians. Real picatures. Mantic put out this picture of the Asterians fighting some Corporation Marines. There's the Asterian. They look like, we always said this before, they look like praying mantises or grasshoppers.
Now they look like a Japanimation from the mid-'80s.
Yeah, a little bit
Robotech.
Yeah, a little Robotech-y. But I love how they're fighting Marines. There's the back of them, the front here. Very skinny, very robot. Yeah, they do. They're a little anime. Yeah, I like them. Yeah. They look good. I'm not sure about the paint scheme. I don't like the beige. I like the bluish color, though.
There's nothing about anything that I see there painted. It's starting to get like a Games Workshop aesthetic, where everything is
bright,
super bright, and then like I would say cartoon-like.
Oh, I never noticed the guy. Look at the guy on the
speeder bike looking thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the color scheme is a little bright for it, but it's probably for contrast reasons. It's a very good picture, right?
Or that's the aesthetic. Like it's not for me, but it looks like it's something that God knows that I don't have the time to put together all that terrain painted like that, the board painted like that, all the people painted like that. So, like, who am I to judge?
So, the Asterians, thanks to one of the short stories in the Containment Protocols compilation, we got a little more information about them. They seem to be a Zen-like order who are controlled by another race called the Pax. There's like an evil older race called the Pax that actually runs them. And these Pax send these Asterians out to do their dirty work, pretty much. And I think it seems like the Asterians only work for them because they're kind of controlled by them.
They're like thralls. They're
not even thralls. They're more like under their thumb for some reason. They didn't explain why they're under their thumb, but it's almost like a Yakuza almost, where the Pax are like the Obion or whatever they're called, the head guy, and these are like the honorable Yakuza guys underneath, but they're run by somebody who wants a little less honorable tactics.
I think it's more like the Pax are the bank, and the Asterians took out a student loan.
It could be that. And they also say that the Asterians, when they expand their territory, they purposely avoid populated areas and populated planets, and that's why they haven't come into so much contact with all the other races. And that's why they're a little mysterious, because they've never purposely tried to invade other places. They go to planets that are unpopulated, and if the planet is unsuitable for population, they build huge cities or in the space around it, and then like environmentally friendly try to use the resources of the planets. Oh. So they're kind of like space hippies, really.
Space elves. Yeah,
they're space elves, but they got a little bit more different background, which is kind of cool. A little mysterious with this Pax thing going on, and
a little depth.
Yeah,
there's a story arc there to be explored. Okay.
And that story in the Containment Protocols was really cool. It was about the Asterians infiltrating on one of the Deadzone places.
So you're saying there's short stories for...
Yes, there's a short story compilation.
Oh, interesting. Big deal!
I expected it. I finished reading the short story compilation. It was really good. Like, there's some of the stories are, just almost like fanfic, where it's just like, yeah, it's fun, but it's, you can tell it's not the professional level.
Yeah,
but
it's
then
not professional
some
author.
of them are,
it's a labor of love where someone wanted to.
like our level.
Yeah, our
but
level.
then some of them are professional writers, and they are amazing stories. Like,
okay. And
on to the Forge Fathers. Here's a concept of Bjarn Starnafall. Bjarn Starnafall. He's looking cool. He's looking very armored.
We're looking at a computer rendering, probably of a a draft.
Yeah, I think it's in the program they use to do the 3D sculpts for the actual printing.
Looks like he's got some sort of rotary cannon
Yeah.
on one arm and some bulky armor. Pretty stock standard dwarven, like the helmet and everything like that.
Yeah, it looks good.
Not breaking any molds, but
He's almost like, compared to we have some Forge Fathers from Warpath. These guys look like they're the Enforcer versions of the, bigger armor. And
yeah.
he's looking cool. I like his gun. I like how his hand's holding it. And some terrain pictures. Mantic lately, because of their battle zones, is out for sale now. They've been pushing a lot of pictures from their terrain line to try to sell the battle zones. So I thought I'd put out some pictures of some things that people have been doing with them, so you can see what we didn't do with them. So our next shipment, we might have to think of different things to do here. Here's the standard photo they do of the landing pad with tons of people all over it.
Yeah, that's. I'm not seeing a 3x3 grid that they're playing on.
No,
again.
these are just standard.
This is.
It's 4x4, and you mean squares? Yeah.
Yeah, like it's.
Yeah, they're not doing the.
So this is a diorama of.
But it's still, you can still see the
displaying the
squares.
terrain. So it's not a game picture. It's a. Oh, there's that 3-wheeled bike.
Yeah, the Raptor. It's not a bike. It's a trike. Or it's not even a trike, it's a
3-wheeled vehicle.
Three-vehicle, yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, so that's the one picture. That's just a standard
pretty
picture.
standard.
Here's a cool, I like the, I just wanted to see this one. It's, once again, it's a landing zone, but it's a rust effects on it are very cool.
That's the weathering, like, out of the jar, kind of. They've painted it and then they've rusted it up with the weathering solution.
Looks nice. Next one, here's one that they did, it's all camouflaged up. It's like a wall for like a compound.
Yeah, and with like one door in the center, and I like the color. I like the color scheme, and
It's all camouflaged.
yeah.
Once again, it's the Marauders attacking. The next one is from Titan Games. It's a game store that's on Facebook. They did some really cool things with theirs. They did like a building to a bridge, and then they built a antenna out of like doors and the lamp post, and
Yeah,
pretty
that's
neat
some
stuff they
modding right
did.
there.
Yeah,
I appreciate.
I love that.
that
I
kind
love
of
just
thing.
the love what they did, the crazy stuff they did with it.
And they did like a desert
Yeah,
Tatooine kind of, but all the
Dusty
buildings are the
and-
same.
except for this one in the back, but that's obviously what they did originally.
That you can go two ways. You can go the way we did, where everything's piecemeal, like storage containers that each individual.
This looks like a
kind of-
base or something.
That looks like a base or like a city that was built all in one go.
And I love this bridge, this building bridge, and then there's the gun on top, gun emplacements everywhere.
I just wonder how much they spent in the mats.
Yeah, they've got about at least 4 mats that we
There's
can
at
see.
least 4 mats there that you can see, because you can see the
This is a store, so they're doing
Yeah,
games at
yeah.
the store. So.
you can see the
See,
rounded corners where they meet. So there's 4 mats there. Look, that would be wicked to play on.
And I do love that antenna. It's so cool. And I love these buildings too, like the underneath the antenna. That's a neat little look to them.
And
Yeah.
where is that from?
Titan Games, they're in England. It's a game
Okay.
store in England.
That was my follow-up question. Titan Games, and they're in England. Huh? Sorry, Titan Games. We'd enjoy to go play at your store and hang out and maybe even podcast live. But in England, this young man, he does sojourn over to jolly old England every once in a while. But I have yet to.
One day we'll go to a Mantic Open Day. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, if anyone wants to send us tickets to Mantic Open Day and airline, and no.
So next one's by Matt Gilbert, as I was saying. Mantic is showing this one because it's an amazing, huge board that using the terrain, but not for Deadzone, obviously. It's for other games.
Yes, because it doesn't have it's not gridded.
And it's not just Deadzone terrain. You can see other terrains here.
They modified. They mixed and matched. Look at that.
Yeah,
Because
these rivers, I think, are from Battlefront. And these bridges are obviously different. And this is, I think, no, that one's not.
they've got some the MDF
Yeah.
terrain in locations. It connects.
Some of it is, I can tell, is Warhammer 40k terrain. Like this stuff, though, Gothic-looking stuff, I think is 40k.
Go to our website and take a look at this thing, because it is
But
fantastic.
you mixed it in, and that's Battlezone there, and that's Battlezone back there.
And it blends in so that it's not you.
Yeah,
It's
it looks
not
like-
like a chunk of one kind
No.
of train and a chunk of the other. It really does.
He did a really good job of mixing it, for sure.
And who did this again?
Matt Gilbert.
Well, Mr. Gilbert, you did a fantastic job.
You can see why Mantic showed this one, because they show that, hey, our terrain works with everybody else's terrain. Like it's
and rightfully so, deservedly so. That needs to be shown to that's. No, I take that back. That doesn't need to be shown. Shame on you for making me feel bad about myself.
Because ours doesn't look this good.
Mr. Gilbert, I hope you burn in hell, because now I'm looking at that going, I can't do that. There's no way. We could never play on something like that.
We just don't have the right terrain for it.
You've made us feel bad.
Next one is our friends at Deathwatch Studios, we discussed earlier.
Yep.
They did some little buildings. They did a Revolution Bar and Grill. It's boarded up, and they put a little a fan on top. It's like a little bar.
Burned out because the scorches around the windows and stuff. And,
it's really neat.
Yeah, that's
These guys are professionals, but I love their little Revolution thing.
And they highlighted the same things that I highlight when I paint those two squares underneath the windows and the thing there with the same color that I use. And
they also did this one, which I think is cool. It's this little stall.
Taste of, it's like a little food, like a.
And I like how they broke the lights off and just glued them on. It's a little
made a little shelf there. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it's cool. On to some Dreadball news, since we are discussing Dreadball. Mostly, we want to look at some concepts, because we're probably going to use a lot of these guys in Deadzone.
So we should probably save this for our Dreadball podcast.
No, we're not going to focus too much on Dreadball. They had some pictures out, so
that's Mr. Voxman's arena.
So here's one of the coaches, the owners. Nice render of her face.
Looks like she's an Asterian.
Yeah, she got pointy ears. And here's a Crystallian for you, looking tough.
Nice.
Looks like the Thing a bit, with his rocky
exterior, his stone exterior.
And here's a Chorus Jack, nice 4-arm, 4-legged guy.
That's
he'll be fun to play in Deadzone.
Yeah. I don't know what race he is. He's not.
I assume he's got psychic powers. I don't know. He's a Chorus. I don't know. That's his race name. And what else we got? We got Tsuda-chan. He's looking pretty evil scientist-like.
Now, what is he?
He's a Tsuda-chan.
Yeah, but is he a coach? Is he?
No, they're a team.
A team. There's a whole team. They're really stepping up the.
Yeah, look at even the sculpts. I think even the quality of sculpts is getting really, really good.
I think as time goes on, because that is far superior to the original Deadzone.
And especially with Dreadball too. For Dreadball, it's a lot.
Okay, good.
And as I talked about earlier, Ameroplastic. Here's what their Dreadball stadium looks like. It's goes around the outside of the playmat to give a nice impression of that you're in the stadium. It actually helps it pretty good, because if you drop the ball, at least it won't fall off the table. And knowing me, it'd probably protect the miniatures from falling off the table. I'd kick them off half the time.
Now it's got a ring for stands around the outside and stuff like that. It's nice.
Yeah, it's just a cool little thing they do. And we're gonna go on to, speaking of Dreadball, we'll go on to our ad from Adam, the Strike Zone podcast.
You just did an ad for the ad that's coming up.
I did. Here's the ad.
Come back.
We will now take a moment for an important message.
This is the Strike Zone.
Yo, Dreadball fans, the Strike Zone podcast is all about entertaining, educating, and informing you about everything Dreadball. We record twice a month, are an hour long, and are child-friendly. You can look us up on iTunes with the keywords Dreadball and Strike Zone, or on our main website, www.moremoreradio.com.
Enter the Strike Zone.
Welcome back to the Deadzone podcast.
So this was a long one about a lot of news and a lot of pictures.
Yeah, we didn't even get to everything we wanted to get to, but time is time. We can't
monopolize your time.
No, we appreciate the time you do spend with us, and we got to keep these things down to a reasonable amount of time. So we'll bid you adieu. Thank you again for those of you who took the time to send us some mail. And
yep, next time we'll be talking about Mantic Open Day, and also we'll have a lot of what we've been working on.
Yes, it'll be about Mantic and us, two of our favorite topics.
That's true. And so I've been Rob,
and he's been Rob.
That makes no sense. And that was Jack. Thanks for listening. Deadzone, the podcast.
Take it away, Wintergreen.
Here is your host, Rob, to tell you how to contact us here at the Deadzone podcast.
Thank you, Wintergreen.
You can listen to us on our website, deadzonegame.podbean.com. You can email us at deadzonepodcast@gmail.com, and you can follow us on Twitter at deadzonepodcast. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Join us next time for some more of the Dead Zone podcast. Vinland Old Time Radio.
It is to laugh.
Astral! Ahoy there, Dirigible. Help a fellow Empire citizen out with you.
It's a gavel. A haunted gavel.
Have you read The King in Yellow?
Hello, William.
I made the koala burgers.
So what's new?
Are you insane?
That better be a rhetorical question. And yes.
For far too long.
I once knew a Spaniard in Tarragona who spoke in gibberish like you.
Up, and escape!
That was terrible.
I should be a god, and instead I'm stuck down here like a worm.
She would tell me such wonderful stories.
Dr. Deja Vu will return.
Tell me such wonderful stories.
Dr. Deja Vu will return.
Africa's a continent?
It's with great protest.
Sorry, Judgy Pudding.
Ooh, now that's some fine programming.
VinlandOldTimeRadio.podbean.com